Hello, in this video I'm going to share how to use AI to speed up your UML use case diagram generation. Let's get started. Okay, so what you see here is an extract from a client which would typically be 9 or 10 pages long. I'm going through this extract just looking for some verbs and for nouns. Verbs are the use cases, nouns are your actors. Bean rack, for example, is a noun and that would be an actor, and so is a customer. Monitor coffee bean levels is a verb, so that would be a use case. And display coffee sales would be another use case. Sales manager would be an actor. And these would help me to identify the key components of a UML use case diagram. So this can be quite tedious if it's 9 or 10 pages. And what I'm going to try and do is use ChatGPT to speed up the whole process. So the first iteration of doing this manually, just to make sure I understand the system, is the diagram you see in front of you. That's the first version. Take a note of things like the printer and the print receipt, which is an extend because that's an option, and the show available drinks, which is also a use case. We'll come to that in a minute. So I'm asking ChatGPT here to identify those components of UML use case diagram based on the description we've just reviewed. And what we'll get in a minute is a list of the components for a UML use case diagram. So it's given us 3 actors, it's given us use cases, a whole bunch, and some system components to draw. So I can see there, for example, the printer is missing from the AI interpretation. I can also see that the relationships for print receipt, for example, is saying include, but in reality I know that's an extend because it's an option. And I think we're missing one of the actors, if I remember correctly. I remember 4 actors, but I seem to be missing an actor here. Additionally, I think that there would also be refill bean rack in use case number 7. I know that's a manual option. The vendor just pulls out the drawer, loads up the beans, and pushes the drawer back in. So there's no actual software or hardware sensing that supports the option for a refill bean rack. So that's a useful piece of information that ChatGPT hasn't quite got onto. Hence, it's great to check your work. I'm asking ChatGPT here to list each use case with a primary actor with its extend or include, as I wanted more specificity in determining whether I had missed anything else in my use case diagrams. I can now see that monitor bean levels is identified correctly with the bean rack system. Refill bean rack use case is still there. I could ask GPT to remove it, but for the purpose of this video, not necessary. And we can now move on to checking our actors. We've got 4 actors now. And ChatGPT has updated use case number 8 as I requested to primary actor bean rack for monitored bean levels. I noticed here that use case number 2, print receipt, still had the primary actor as the customer by ChatGPT when this should really be the printer, which would have been a rather costly mistake for the client had they engineered their interface for the customer rather than the printer device. It was at this point that I realized show available drinks execution could be included in the purchase coffee use case. So I'm removing it, which makes the diagram a lot simpler, and now I'm cleaning it up, which is always best practice. So that's the final diagram, and that's the combination of using the client's description, my interpretation, and ChatGPT's interpretation. In conclusion, that demonstrates that ChatGPT is a useful tool in aiding UML use case diagram generation, but is certainly no substitute for a human's solid understanding of software creation. I hope that's been useful to you in improving the speed at which you can generate your UML diagrams. Thank you for watching.